Okay, this is a short video here to show you what the stools are and just briefly how they're made. I will draw up some drawings with some measurements to make it a little easier so you won't have to go right from the video. But this will give you an idea. It's always helpful, I find, to actually be able to see it. The stool is really simple. The point of the stool, other than to sit on it, is that it needs to be able to come apart pretty flat to ship. So it's not going to be, something pre-built like this, because the shipping of something like this is rather cost prohibitive. So the stool is made of number 3 grade pine, which is pine with tight brown knots. You do see an occasional black knot. That's okay, depending on where in the stool it is. The stool top. This is the top. Okay. It's made by joining 2 pieces of 1x8 together. It's 15 inches long this way, 14.5 this way, and this joint. You're free to join it any way you want, except it's not a glue joint. Don't bother to take the time to do that. I have this with 2 dowel pins to keep the pieces level, and then pocket screws. And then that's fine. Once the pocket screws pull together, then you can sand the top. You sand the edges just to take the sharp edge off. This side where the pieces are joined, all the sides need to get sanded so it's a smooth joint. And then you do sand the back side too, and round over these edges. You're doing that by hand real quickly, again, just to take the sharpness off. Underneath the stool, this piece is for attaching the legs. Pretty standard on tables. And it's 12 inches this way, 2 pieces of 12 inches. It is a total of 11.5 this way. And it's got screws in the corners, very simple. And it is pocket screwed. That's what these holes are. Maybe a little hard to see. Pocket screwed to the bottom of this, and there is glue in that joint. This piece really needs to be solid so it doesn't pop off if someone leans on the stool. Be careful with the glue. You don't want to see it. And you don't need much. Just a tight bond. Tight bond 3 is a really good choice, and makes an excellent seal. So that's it. There are labels here, C and D, A and B for the legs. You will not be doing that. That'll be done in the shop. There's a jig I have for putting those holes in. So the work I need done is to produce this piece, and again, it is pretty simple. And the other thing we need produced are the legs. Also very simple. The legs are made by taking 2 pieces of pine that are 2.5 inches wide and then screwed together. I make these in the finished leg length is 16 inches, so what I do is I use about a 68-inch piece of 1x12, and I rip 4 strips at 2.5 inches each. Then I join the whole length of the strip by marking off 16-inch segments, putting 2 screws in. It doesn't really matter where these are. If they're going to be, they could be a little off here and there. Obviously, they don't want to be right to the center. They need to be out towards the ends. All that matters is that you sand it, and this joint here is smooth. Okay, and when you cut these to length, you need to use a stop on your chop saw table, because if these are not exactly the same, then the stool will be wobbly. So I make them 16 inches. If they're 16 1/8 or 15 7/8, that doesn't matter. What matters is that they're all the same. And yes, I prefer them at 16 inches. And that's why you need to use a stop, especially if you're making piles and piles of these. So the stool has 4 of these. Pretty simple. They have holes drilled up here to attach them to the stool top. You will not be putting those pilot holes in. I'll do that here at the shop with the jig I have for setting the legs. And then these 2 pieces, they become cross braces. All they are is 2 more pieces of this 2.5 inch wide stock, cut to 12 inches each, and that's it. Sanded the edges sanded, just quickly hit with a 120 grit paper to take off that pointy edge, and that's it. Like I said, they'll get labeled and the holes drilled in here in the shop, in this shop. And one last thing I forgot to mention is this piece here is it's 2 inches wide, so it's a 2-inch rip that gets pre-assembled. And I think that's probably about it. Let me just grab one thing to show you. When you're making those legs, you will take longer strips. This is just the easy way to do it. And you put them together like this. Okay. The best way to do it is to take one side that you want to be the inside. That allows you to hide some imperfections. Sand that inside to 80 grit. And put them together. You'll come down the top and you'll measure out 16-inch segments, minus what you cut off the end to square it. You put your screws in, and you'll have this long piece of almost 6 feet long that you'll get 4 legs out of. You'll sand all the sides, and then you'll cut them, and you'll end up with pieces like this. And that's it. It's pretty simple. The way you're going to ship it, if it needs to be shipped here to my shop, it fits together like this. This is the short end versus the long end, short end. And it can pile up like this. These pieces can fit inside here diagonally, just like that, and then you can shrink wrap the whole thing together like with a roll of shrink wrap. Just go right around. Very straightforward. Very easy. There's screws. This won't be something you're dealing with. This will be something I do at my shop. They get put in there. And I ship it out like this in a box with other parts. So again, it's really important that it has to sit flat and come apart into a small piece for shipping. The stools go in a sauna. This is a stool for an infrared sauna kit, and I can send you a link to the website so you can see the products. But that's it. I need anywhere from 10 to 20 a month, provided it stays busy. Some months I only need 5, and some months I need 20. So